The curtain rises not on a stage of velvet and light, but on a canvas painted in the harsh, vibrant hues of the wild, the heart of Uganda. It is here, in this sanctuary of contrasts, where the fog-shrouded peaks surrender to the blistering savanna, that nature tells its ultimate story of adaptation and relentless existence. This is no mere wildlife viewing. This is an immersion into a world governed by an ancient, unforgiving contract: survive or perish. The narrative of this land is written in blood, sweat, and breathtaking acts of courage. To understand Uganda is to witness the drama playing out right now, beneath the relentless African sun. A dramatic confrontation that sets the tone for all life here, stimulating a primal curiosity in every observer. The air shimmers above the tall grasses of Queen Elizabeth National Park, heavy with the promise of violence. Suddenly, the silence is shredded by a low, guttural roar, the signature of a pride of lionesses, initiating the most challenging gambit in their evolutionary repertoire: the takedown of the Cape buffalo. This is the very essence of the jungle's dilemma, a confrontation between the calculated, collective strategy of the predator and the explosive 900-kilogram freight train of brute force that is the African buffalo. The tension is palpable, a thick current flowing through the savanna. The lionesses, eyes locked and muscles coiled, move with the discipline of a crack military unit. Their approach is not merely stalking, it is a meticulously coordinated surgical strike. One moves wide to flank, using the wind to conceal her scent. Another positions herself low to trip. A third, the most experienced, waits for the psychological moment of panic. Every action is silent, measured, a testament to generations of learned hunting wisdom transmitted through the pride's matrilineal line. This stealth is their greatest weapon, a cloak woven from the shadows and the dry earth. But the buffalo is no mere grazing target. He is a titan, an embodiment of stubborn defiance. His hide is thick, his horns a massive, bone-crushing shield, and his nature is one of organized ferocity. As the lionesses commit to their final, desperate surge, the buffalo herd does not scatter in blind terror. Instead, they pivot with devastating synchronization, forming a living, breathing barricade of horns and muscle. The air fills with the thunder of hooves, and the ground trembles. The massive alpha buffalo, a true relic of power, lowers his head. His eyes, usually placid, now burn with an insane, singular rage, the will to protect his own. In the ensuing chaos, the hunter and the hunted are momentarily indistinguishable. The roles, in a brutal flash, are inverted. A lioness, having overcommitted, finds herself not sinking teeth into flesh, but staring down the razor-sharp point of a horn, charged with the full kinetic energy of nearly a ton of muscle. She is tossed aside like a ragdoll, a crimson streak against the pale grass. This hunt is an investment that costs the pride dearly, in energy, in risk, and often in blood. It is a profound demonstration that in the unforgiving realm of the savanna, victory is never guaranteed, and the will to resist can be the most lethal weapon of all. The lionesses, battered but not beaten, must retreat, leaving the triumphant buffalo to stand his ground, steam rising from his flanks, a clear message delivered. Survival is a choice, and today we choose defiance. This primal spectacle teaches us the vital importance of strategy in the face of overwhelming power. Do we face our buffaloes alone, or do we move with the coordinated discipline of the pride? How often do we mistake aggression for strength, when true power lies in calculated unity? Moving from the sun-drenched plains to the opaque, slow-moving currents of Uganda's major rivers, we enter the domain of a relic, a predator whose blueprint has survived epochs of change: the Nile crocodile. If the lion represents explosive action, the crocodile epitomizes the terrifying power of absolute patience. This is the ultimate master of camouflage, the true assassin of the aquatic world. From a distance, the crocodile is nothing more than a log, a shift in the muddy bank, a subtle disturbance in the water's surface. Its life is a meditation on stillness, an almost zen-like commitment to conservation of energy. It can lie motionless for hours, even days, its incredible metabolism slowing to an imperceptible crawl. This is not laziness. It is a tactical superiority, the ability to hold a perfect, frozen focus until the target fulfills the prophecy of its own demise. The crocodile's physiology is a masterpiece of specialized killing. Its armored skin is a near-impenetrable coat of mail. Its eyes, positioned high atop its skull, allow it to survey the riverbanks while the rest of its massive body remains submerged and hidden. The deadly intelligence, however, resides in its jaw. It is a trap built for crushing, capable of exerting bite pressures that dwarf those of any other animal on Earth, thousands of pounds per square inch. Once these jaws clamp down, the battle is over, often before the prey has even registered the attack. The hunt is not a chase, it is an ambush. The victim, driven by thirst or a momentary lapse in vigilance, approaches the water's edge. The explosion, when it comes, is instantaneous and devastating, a surge of muscle, teeth, and water. The prey is dragged violently beneath the surface, where the crocodile employs its signature macabre technique, the death roll. Torsional strength tears the unfortunate creature apart, adapting the river's cycle into its own feeding cycle. The crocodile is a living testament to the fact that power need not be flashy or fast. It must only be perfectly timed and overwhelming at the decisive moment. The Nile crocodile's existence offers a stark lesson in discipline. It reminds us that often the most destructive forces in life are those that wait, perfectly poised, rather than those that rush headlong into conflict. It asks us, in a world that prizes constant movement, do we appreciate the devastating power of disciplined waiting? To turn our gaze toward the impala is to switch from the brutish power of the crocodile to the poetry of pure movement. The impala is the embodiment of nervous, ethereal elegance, a creature whose entire existence is a high-stakes, constant choreography of evasion across the Ugandan savanna. They are the beautiful fuel for the land's major predators, and their vulnerability has forced them to evolve an astonishing, sophisticated defense. The impala's primary tool is not force, but physics and confusion. When danger threatens, the blur of a cheetah, the patient stalk of a leopard, the impala explodes into action. This is not just running. It is a gravity-defying spectacle of high, erratic leaps that can clear 10 feet in height and 30 feet in distance. These acrobatic jumps are crucial because they achieve two immediate, life-saving goals. First, they allow the impala to see over the tall grass and locate the precise threat. Second, and most vital, the unpredictable, zigzagging pattern of the jumps creates a visual chaos for the predator, breaking the hunter's concentration and turning a single target into a confusing, shimmering blur. This physical prowess is married to a system of relentless, collective vigilance. Impalas live in complex herds, where individual survival is directly tied to the group's alertness. They are the sentinels of the plain, constantly twitching ears and wide, dark eyes scanning the perimeter. There is always a member of the herd, or often several, with their heads up, absorbing the silence and the minute shifts in the environment that signal danger. This early warning system is their most reliable tool, allowing them precious seconds to initiate the chaotic flight response that saves lives. The life of the impala is a profound paradox. To live in a state of perpetual fear, yet to move with such unparalleled grace. They demonstrate that resistance is a highly sophisticated skill, often requiring more agility, intelligence, and cooperation than raw might. They teach us that even the most vulnerable among us possess tools of resistance, acute senses, unwavering alertness, and the power of unity. How much more effective could we be if we traded brute force for sophisticated evasion and constant awareness? Moving away from the hypervigilance of the impala, we encounter a creature that defines the concept of robust, stoic survival, the eland. This immense antelope, the largest in Africa, is not known for its speed or its aerial evasion, but for a quiet, imposing resilience against the most punishing elements Uganda can unleash: extreme heat and prolonged drought. The eland is the living symbol of endurance. Unlike its smaller, swifter cousins who rely on lush, abundant grazing, the eland thrives in areas that are nothing short of desolate. It is a creature of immense physical strength, built not for the sprint, but for the long, brutal haul. Its body is a masterpiece of physiological adaptation that allows it to tolerate dramatic shifts in its internal temperature, making the oppressive midday heat less of a threat. While other herbivores wilt and retreat, the eland presses on.
The Thompson's gazelle, identifiable by its distinct black stripe.
Its most critical evolutionary advantage lies in its diet. In times of scarcity, when the succulent grasses disappear, the eland simply shifts its focus to the tough, thorny, nutrient-poor vegetation that other grazers reject. It is the original scavenger of sustenance, able to extract the necessary energy and, critically, moisture from the hardest-won foliage. This stoicism, this ability to thrive on what others consider refuse, is the defining factor of its survival.
Following the path cleared by the zebras,
the eland's survival is not a dramatic story of a high-speed chase. It is a quiet, powerful epic of tenacity. It moves slowly, deliberately, its massive frame a testament to the fact that sometimes the greatest form of resistance is simply the refusal to quit. It teaches us the profound lesson of contentment with necessity, demonstrating that true strength is the capacity to prosper in the leanest of times, to find value and sustenance in the resources others overlook. It is a meditation on the power of quiet, unyielding durability. Are we willing to adapt our expectations and find strength in conditions of scarcity, like the formidable eland? As dusk descends, casting long, fractured shadows across the savanna and filtering through the canopy of the acacia trees, we come face to face with the embodiment of independence and lethal silence, the leopard. This is the master illusionist, the ghost solitary, a hunter whose life is defined by a supreme reliance on patience and the perfect execution of the ambush. The leopard's very existence is a study in calculated solitude. Unlike the lion, who shares the burdens and spoils of the hunt, the leopard operates alone. Its success depends entirely on its own skill, its own timing, and its ability to blend seamlessly into the tapestry of the night and shadow. Its coat, a mosaic of rosettes, is the ultimate camouflage, allowing it to become a part of the twisted limbs and dappled light of the forest edge. It is a creature that hunts without fanfare, without the chaotic noise of the pack, a true professional assassin who leaves no trace until the strike. The hunt itself is a lengthy, measured affair. The leopard may track a potential meal for hours, moving with a fluid, liquid grace that makes the ground itself seem silent beneath its paws. It waits, often frozen in an impossible posture, until the precise, necessary moment when the distance is closed and the prey is distracted. The final rush is a blinding burst of focused energy, resulting in a kill that is clean, decisive, and terrifyingly efficient. Yet, the true genius of the leopard is demonstrated after the kill. It is forced to compete not just with its prey, but with every other opportunistic scavenger and predator in the ecosystem: hyenas, jackals, and even rival lions. To protect its hard-won meal, the leopard performs an astounding feat of singular strength. It drags its heavy, often multiple hundred-pound carcass vertically up the trunk of a tree, storing it safely on a high branch. This vertical adaptation is the key to its dominance, a silent declaration that what is earned by stealth will be defended by superior physical power and cunning spatial strategy. The leopard's life is a magnificent, cruel lesson in self-reliance. It teaches us that to achieve true independence, one must master patience, utilize every facet of one's natural strengths, and crucially, develop a robust strategy for protecting one's resources from opportunistic rivals. What tree must we climb to secure our own successes and defend them from the inevitable competition? As the sun begins its ascent, bathing the plains in golden light, our gaze is drawn upward to a creature that exists in a different dimension of the savanna, the magnificent Rothschild's giraffe. This gentle giant, with its reticulated pattern and imposing, elegant stature, is the very definition of evolutionary advantage derived from sheer height. The giraffe's life is governed by a singular, immense adaptation, its long neck. This incredible physical feature is more than an aesthetic wonder. It is a vital toolkit for survival. First, it grants access to exclusive resources. While all other herbivores must fight for the low-lying shrubs and grass, the giraffe feeds effortlessly on the succulent, nutrient-rich leaves of the high acacia trees, a resource pipeline that is entirely inaccessible to the competition. This allows it to sustain its immense size and bypass the daily struggle for crowded, common forage. Second, and perhaps most critical, the height provides unparalleled situational awareness. From its towering vantage point, the giraffe sees threats: a stalking lion, a gathering of vultures, a distant fire, long before any other creature. It serves as a natural watchtower for the entire ecosystem, its serene gaze acting as an early warning system for itself, and often inadvertently for its neighbors. This perspective is a form of power, allowing for calculated retreat rather than panicked flight. Despite their appearance of serene, almost fragile elegance, the giraffe possesses a latent, devastating power. Should a predator manage to get close, the giraffe's defense is a shocking demonstration of physics and speed. A powerful, piston-like kick delivered with such force and accuracy that it can shatter bone or even kill a lion instantly. It is a stunning combination of grace and lethal capacity. The Rothschild's giraffe compels us to consider the value of perspective. It shows that by elevating our viewpoint, we gain access to exclusive knowledge and the ability to anticipate threats on the horizon. It teaches us that true power can be silent and poised, combining outward grace with a ready, undeniable ability to defend oneself. What limiting beliefs or self-imposed, low ground, are keeping us from seeing the opportunities and threats that only a higher perspective can reveal. In the transitional zones between the open savanna and the denser scrubland, the marto, we find the topi, a handsome antelope often called the vaca del marto. This creature's existence is defined by an exquisite blend of two seemingly contradictory traits: intense caution and sustained, explosive speed. The topi is an animal built for quick decisions and even quicker action. Its strategic behavior is the key to its survival. Unlike the erratic leaps of the impala, the topi relies on a highly focused, sustained gallop to outdistance threats over open ground. When spooked, the herd shifts from a collective of grazers into a single, flowing river of muscle, utilizing its speed not just for escape, but for strategic movement toward known refuges, a dense copse of trees, a rocky outcrop, or a river bend. They always run with purpose. The topi's social structure is a masterclass in collective security. The adults, particularly the dominant males, operate as living bodyguards for the younger, more vulnerable members. When the herd is in motion or resting, the strongest individuals invariably position themselves on the flanks and the outer perimeter. They are the shields, the sentinels whose primary job is to absorb the first shock of an attack, buying crucial seconds for the next generation to survive. This organized, selfless defense ensures the collective endurance of the species. They are often seen perched atop small termite mounds or rocky rises, their dark, glossy coats gleaming under the sun. This sentinel behavior is not casual. It is a life-saving habit. By gaining a few extra feet of height, they improve their line of sight, allowing them to spot the slightest movement of a predator, a necessary vigilance in their open country habitat. The topi's life is a powerful illustration of the necessity of organization and constant readiness. It teaches us that speed is only valuable when coupled with direction, and that true leadership involves placing oneself at the point of greatest vulnerability to protect the common good. In our own lives, do we spend enough time ensuring the flanks of our ventures are protected by our strongest adults? Few images are as iconic to the African landscape as the zebra, but its striking, seemingly simple black and white stripes conceal a complex, ingenious evolutionary strategy rooted in visual trickery and collective cohesion. The zebra is a walking contradiction, highly visible up close, yet virtually invisible to its pursuer. The function of the stripes is not mere decoration. It is a highly evolved defensive mechanism known as dazzle camouflage. When a single zebra stands still, the pattern is clear. But when the herd gathers and begins to move, the effect is hypnotic and deeply confusing. The countless vertical stripes merge into a shimmering, undulating mass, making it nearly impossible for a predator to isolate a single individual for attack. A hungry lion or hyena, relying on its eyes to track a specific flank or leg, is momentarily confounded by a dizzying illusion, a chaotic, moving wall of lines, causing a critical hesitation that buys the zebra the time it needs to escape. Furthermore, recent studies suggest the stripes also confuse the visual systems of biting insects, such as the disease-carrying tsetse fly, offering a layer of health-related protection crucial for survival. This simple pattern is an all-purpose tool for survival, designed for both defense against the colossal and the minuscule. Beyond the optical illusion, the zebra is a testament to the power of hardiness and adaptability. They are generalist grazers, capable of thriving on coarser, less palatable grasses that other herbivores leave untouched. This flexibility in diet, coupled with their immense endurance, allows them to survive the brutal cycles of drought and to undertake the vast, necessary migrations that define the health of the ecosystem. The zebra compels us to recognize the profound power of collective identity. It teaches us that sometimes the most sophisticated form of defense is to blend our individuality into a collective purpose, creating a unified visual front that confuses and deters the forces that seek to break us apart. Do we understand the hidden strength that lies in presenting a unified, impenetrable front when faced with external pressure? If the giraffe is the picture of elegance and the lion the icon of majesty, the warthog, or Phacochurus africanus, is the symbol of tenacious, often underestimated courage. Portrayed often as a comical figure, the warthog is in truth a crucial, adaptable engine of the savanna, a creature whose survival is less about flight and more about a surprising, defiant ferocity when cornered. The warthog is, first and foremost, a tireless excavator. Its powerful snout and the distinctive upward curve of its tusks are constantly at work, turning over the earth, searching for roots, tubers, and bulbs. This digging not only provides food, but also aerates the soil, creating microhabitats for other species, a quiet contribution to the ecosystem. It is an animal of utility, not beauty, defined by its ceaseless industry and adaptability. Its strategy against the legions of predators that target it is a pragmatic mix of intelligence and prudence. When threatened, the warthog's first instinct is to flee, utilizing its surprising speed to reach the safety of one of its many abandoned burrows or termite mounds. Critically, it enters the burrow backwards. This brilliant maneuver ensures that its sharp, formidable tusks, its only meaningful weapons, are facing the entrance, presenting a narrow, lethal blockage to any pursuing predator. It turns a place of shelter into a fortified stronghold. But should the retreat be cut off, the warthog transitions instantly from prudent prey to formidable adversary. Driven by pure instinct, it deploys a ferocious, head-down charge, its surprisingly sharp lower tusks becoming instruments of swift, defensive carnage. This transformation, from mud-covered grazer to cornered fighter, is a testament to the fact that true courage is often found in the unexpected places. The warthog is a beautiful reminder that we should never judge an animal or an individual by its external appearance or its perceived place in the hierarchy. It teaches us that resilience lies in a mix of strategic planning, the burrow, tireless work, the digging, and the willingness to deploy unexpected ferocity when one's boundaries are crossed. How often do we overlook the quiet, persistent worker, only to be surprised by the ferocity of their defense when they are truly challenged? We return to the rivers, not for the stealth of the crocodile, but for the brute, dominant mass of the hippopotamus. For generations, the hippo has been perceived as a slow, passive, even comical herbivore lounging in the water. This image is a dangerous myth. The hippopotamus is, statistically, one of Africa's deadliest animals, a volatile, agile, and dangerously territorial colossus. Its life is defined by a necessary dual existence. By day, the massive herd retreats to the murky, cool water, spending hours submerged, their bodies protected from the scorching sun by a layer of thick, sensitive skin that secretes a reddish, natural sunscreen. The water is their sanctuary, their defense against dehydration and external threat. By night, the duality shifts. The hippo emerges from the river, transforming into a formidable terrestrial creature. It embarks on its solitary, nocturnal grazing mission, walking many miles to consume hundreds of pounds of grass. This nightly sojourn highlights the animal's massive physical strength and its surprising agility on land. It can outrun a human easily. But it is the aggression in the water that defines its social order and its reputation. Hippo pools are crowded, competitive spaces where social standing is enforced through a constant display of threat, intimidation, and brutal fighting. The dominant male, the bull, maintains a rigid social structure through highly aggressive territoriality, using his massive, shovel-like jaws and immense canine teeth, which can grow over a foot long, to inflict horrific wounds. Any perceived intrusion into the herd space, whether by rival hippos or, tragically, by humans in boats, is met with an immediate, crushing response. The hippopotamus is a vital, if terrifying, mechanism for maintaining order in the river ecosystem. It reminds us that appearances can be deceiving, and that behind a passive exterior can lie a reservoir of immense, controlled, and strategically focused rage. It teaches the vital lesson of setting and enforcing clear boundaries. The hippo demands respect simply by existing, a force of nature that will violently protect its personal and collective space. Do we clearly define our boundaries and possess the necessary, focused aggression to defend our most sacred spaces when they are threatened? Our journey culminates with the undisputed grand architect of the Ugandan landscape, the African elephant. This magnificent animal, the largest terrestrial creature on Earth, does not merely inhabit the ecosystem. It actively creates and shapes it, its presence a foundational necessity for the survival of countless other species. The elephant's impact is transformative. Its massive bulk and powerful, deliberate movements clear the dense bush, opening up sun-drenched clearings that allow smaller grazers to thrive. When it feeds, it disperses seeds across vast distances in its dung, literally planting the forests of the future and enriching the biodiversity of the entire savanna. Crucially, in times of severe drought, the elephant uses its extraordinary intelligence and its tusks to dig deep into dry riverbeds, creating waterholes that sustain itself and become life-saving resources for every animal in the vicinity, from the smallest antelope to the fiercest predator.
The dramatic tension peaks as the buffalo looms
Beyond this
over the
profound
cowering
ecological
lioness.
role, the elephant is a marvel of complex social and emotional intelligence. They grieve their dead, recognize themselves in mirrors, exhibit deep empathy, and communicate through infrasound, a language of vibrations and rumbles that travels unseen across the plains. This intricate society is led by the matriarch, typically the oldest and wisest female. The matriarch is the living library of the herd. She carries the ancestral knowledge, the maps of the essential ancient migratory routes, the locations of forgotten water sources during the worst droughts, and the subtle dangers of the land. It is her memory, transmitted patiently to her daughters, that guarantees the survival of the entire clan. Her leadership is not tyrannical. It is a servitude of wisdom, ensuring that the legacy of survival is passed on, unbroken. The elephant's life offers a powerful, philosophical conclusion to our journey. It teaches us that true power is not about dominance, but about sustaining the life around you. The greatest leaders are those who rely on wisdom and memory to guide their communities, those who actively create space and opportunity for others, and those whose emotional intelligence is matched by their physical capacity to serve. What can we do to become architects of our own environment, ensuring that our actions clear paths and enrich the lives of those who follow? We have seen the disciplined fury of the lioness, balanced by the defiant unity of the buffalo. We observed the chilling mastery of time in the crocodile, contrasted with the acrobatic, nervous elegance of the impala. We tracked the quiet, enduring resilience of the eland and the solitary, strategic genius of the leopard. We were granted the perspective of the giraffe, the synchronized readiness of the topi, and the dazzling confusion of the zebra. We learned the unexpected ferocity of the warthog and the necessary territorial aggression of the hippo. Finally, we bowed to the enduring, foundational wisdom of the architect, the elephant. The survival stories of Uganda are not just magnificent tales of the wild. They are parables for our own daily existence. They are a call to acknowledge the profound evolutionary forces that shape us all. We are all striving to survive, to adapt, to carve out a territory and protect our lineage. This vast, complex world demands our utmost respect and fierce protection. It is a treasure of unparalleled biological complexity, a masterpiece of perpetual adaptation that deserves to endure. If you wish to continue exploring the untamed beauty and the profound, hidden wisdom of the natural world, do us the great service of subscribing to the channel and joining our expedition into the heart of the wild.